Hey, it's BessieLB, and I am back again with another episode on Ask Me BessieLB. Let's talk about it. Today, I am going to dive in talking about selflessness and just love and care and consideration for others. Now, for those of you that don't know, one of my goals has always been to dive into the Bible. If you've watched any of my other episodes and you've gotten to know me, you understand that I consider myself religious, Baptist Christian, someone that believes in God wholeheartedly, that goes to God for everything that I have going on in my life, and I'm just a believer. By no way means do I push my religion on anybody else. Do I say that that's how you need to feel? Or do I try to feel like I'm preaching to someone about something that I feel is right, that they're doing wrong, whatever the case may be. But I received my Bible. I'm reading this modern translated version of a Bible because I feel like that's more interesting in the sense of really diving in deep with a modern translation versus reading Old English, whatever. And I dived into it this week. And I started with the book of Philippians. Now, I decided to start with that. It said in the beginning of the Bible, it said, it's a New Testament, Old Testament all together, okay? And it said, start from the beginning, start at your favorite scripture, however you want to start, just start it. Because all the books are kind of like in their own different chronicles, things of that nature. So I started with the Philippians because I really love that book of the Bible, and it really speaks to me. I always believe in I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's my favorite, right? So I start there. And one of the things that I read this week was about selflessness and knowing that it's not all about you, and it's not all about grumbling and moaning and groaning about what you don't have, what you can't do, what you feel like you're falling short with, etc. Now, the selflessness really stood out to me because if you know me, you really know that I'm a person that genuinely care about others. Sometimes that's a little bit of a bad thing because I care too much, and then I may put myself on the back burner and forget about what I need to do for self. Now, you don't need to be that person that forgets and neglect yourself, but you shouldn't be that person that is all about self and self-absorbed and you don't know how to care for others, okay? That's a big thing to me because I was just with a friend the other day and we was discussing how, we'd give all of what we can give to someone that's in need. I was always brought up, if I could give the shirt off my back to somebody, I will do so, okay? And I found it funny because I've also been discussing with people, somebody may not give you money, and someone may not give you a roof over your head. But I find it a common thing that if people don't give anything else, people will give you food. That's like a very common thing. I don't know why, but it is, right? But I'm here to say it goes deeper than just giving someone a hot meal or whatever the case may be. It's about being just considerate in your everyday life and giving. I'm not necessarily speaking for, you see a homeless, you got to take care of the homeless, pull somebody off the street, put them into your house, give them clothes, give them that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be caring and considerate, even if you're in a public space and there's other people around you. You're not the only one living on this earth trying to fulfill a purpose. All of us have our own purposes, and all of us are here for a reason. May not be the same reason, but we're all here for a reason, and that's simply to live, okay? So the way that I see it is, as they also say in the Bible, do unto others as you want done to you. Whatever you know that you would want, however you know that you want to feel when you're in a circumstance, then practice that kind act towards other people when you're dealing with people. That's anything simple as, I asked somebody the other day, that's like if you're going somewhere, right? And it's pertaining to you and your family. And you're there at an event. And I don't know, say for instance, it's like a Christmas giveaway, whatever have you, right? They're giving away free gifts for you and for you to give to your kids. Are you that kind of person? And or if they also say, oh, well, you can take some stuff for another loved one. You could take one or two things for another loved one or whatever the case may be. Are you that person that gets there and say, well, I'm getting this for me and mine. I gotta look out for me and mine. It's just about mine. Or are you the person that says, oh, well, I'm gonna get this for my two, and I know Sarah said, you know, that she was a little low this year for getting something for her too. So I'm going to take those two extra ones and I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to give it to Sarah so she can gift it for her too. Which one are you? Because that's a considerate thing. That's just an example of being considerate of other people and understanding that at the end of the day, that purpose is the exact same thing. The purpose is that you as a parent are trying to do for your kids and Sarah as a parent is trying to do for her kids. It's all the same purpose, but y'all both are kind of like living in two different lives, okay? So what kind of person are you? Be aware of how you speak to people as well. Being considerate about how you speak to people, they say the power is in the tongue. The power is in the tongue. The power is in the tongue. What you speak is important, and how you speak it is just as important. You can speak something, and verbally what you say can leave that impact on someone. But then, if you speak it in a way that comes off helpful, it instantly resonates in someone's head differently than when you speak it in a very ignorant, condescending, just arrogant, non-caring way. It will trigger that person in a whole other way. I feel like as humans, we have to learn how to take a pause and take a step back and really spend time on evaluating what we're saying and how we say it. Now, baby, I ain't perfect by no means necessary. Because when I was younger, this tongue, as my grandmother said, got me into trouble. My grandmother always said that tongue is lethal. That tongue is going to get you into a world of trouble. If you're an old Southern black family, you already know what that means. The tongue will get you into trouble. And I used to be the one, popping off, attitude, neck rolling. I knew everything. I needed to say everything. And that didn't get me that far in certain circumstances. So I'm just saying, know how to speak to people. Know when to choose your battles. That's important. And know when it's okay to just let some things that people say or do go. Just drop it. Just leave it. Leave it there. Because a lot of things is not worth your time and energy. A lot of things is not worth your time and your energy. You have a number of days, a number of seconds, minutes, hours on this earth. And unfortunately, a lot of times we do not know the time and we do not know the day and all those things in most circumstances. And it would just be so just negative and just not a good thing to leave this earth knowing that you could have spent your time focusing on other things that really mattered more than the time and day that you spent on something that was just not relevant, okay? So I really wanted to deliver that. That was just something that really spoke to me, because I feel like some people really don't understand that we're all having the same mission and same sort of purpose. And instead of trying to help somebody else out or just being considerate, we're tearing each other down. And we're all sharing our time and space on this earth. So that's just something that I wanted to discuss. Tell me what your thing is. Tell me what you feel like you're very selfless about. And tell me what you think that you can be a little bit more considering of. I'm very selfless when it comes to giving, just giving in general. I go into a store, I see something that reminds me of someone, I buy it. I always get, oh, you didn't need to get me that. You didn't need to do that. No one ever has to do anything, but I do it out of the kindness of my heart. I'm always considerate in the sense of when I think of something or some sort of instance, I think of others instantly, right? So that's something that I'm very selfless and very considerate about. What I can be more considerate on, it's hard because I'm not speaking because I'm trying to say I'm perfect, but it's hard because I'm very considerate about a lot of things. But what I can be more considerate on, I would say sometimes I'm outgoing and I'm outspoken and I may joke about some things, or I may be very hands-on, things of that nature. And so I need to be more considerate on maybe someone's personal space, right? Like sometimes I get too much into people's personal space and I don't realize it, and not in an inappropriate manner, but I'm very just and some people want their personal space. Or I'm very outspoken, power of the tongue, and I'll say something in a joking manner, but that person might not be in that mood to hear that. Or me being very blunt and outspoken, that person may not be able to handle my bluntness that day, or just how I delivered it. Maybe I could have delivered it just a little bit more in a sensitive way, because that would have really resonated with that person more, right? So that's something that I work on, and I try to oop, I'm sorry. And if I do say something and I spoke too soon, I'll say, you know what? I'm sorry if that made you feel some way, whatever. Being aware of what I said. Power of the tongue. Tell me what you think.